Hi, my name is Kevin Gray, publisher at Fierce Telecom. I'm excited to be here at this week's U.S. Broadband Summit launch, and I'm also excited about the opportunity to speak with Brian Ensign, VP of Marketing over at Superior Essex. Brian, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Brian, this event is lots of talk about BEAD funding, and a lot of growth opportunities are being associated with that. And I'm just curious, so what is Superior Essex's role in all that, and how are you supporting the BEAD program in general?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, and we're really excited about the BEAD funding and broadband for everybody, right? The interconnecting everybody and giving access to everybody. Very supportive of that, and and going to continue to do that. Now, for us, the part of it is the interconnection piece, right? The cable piece that connects all the folks from the ISPs or the internet provider side all the way to the users. So with that network side of it, so the fiber cables, outside plant cables, all the way from one single fiber all the way up to hundreds and thousands of fibers, right? So whether it's long haul, middle mile, or last mile, we're involved in all that. So we're supporting that and making sure the product's there, available, and being able to support not only next year, but the next 5 years and beyond. So we've invested heavily in manufacturing to make sure to do that. So there's enough capacity in the U.S. along with our other folks that make cable. So we're definitely focused on making sure the cable's there and ready. So when they get ready to deploy it, they can get their hands on it, use it, and put it in the ground or aerially or any of those things. So so we're the central network cabling behind all this.
That's a good way to phrase it. But I'd imagine, as you just mentioned, you guys touch on a lot of different places in the industry here. So I'd imagine you've seen some pretty unique methods as to how broadband gets rolled out to everyone. I'd love for you to kind of share that and some of the things you've seen in the industry.
It is, because it's unique, because we're talking about underserved or not served, right? Scenarios, farms, rural or areas are getting this service pretty as targeted going forward as getting this service. So it's easy to say, okay, I got 12 homes, I got to run so much cable to that area and deploy it. But along with that, there's also been some unique on the small cell or wireless side or fixed point wireless side. So that way, if it can't get to a certain area with the cable side of it, or we got to stretch the amount of folks we can connect in that area. Now it's more of a Wi-Fi or wireless plan to get that done, right? So we've seen that in a few communities now. So now I can do small cell or Wi-Fi applications and serve multiple places versus a cable run here, cable run here, cable run here. So, and in that world, it's more of a hybrid cable type application. So now I'm running power and data to power all these Wi-Fi locations under the same cable, right? So now I got copper and fiber mixed together, so I can provide power and data to these fixed cells or fixed Wi-Fi locations very easily. And that way the deployment's quicker, it's faster. And it's just another unique way of servicing these communities versus going through a plan that might take longer, might be more expensive, those type of things. So this is a way to help do that through a wireless type environment for sure. So there's been some of that going on. And I think there's other designs that are coming that will be more, how do we stretch all this to get all these communities served? Right. And within a good amount of time to do that, and within the funding. So trying to think of different ways to do it than just a normal, let's run cables here, here, and here.
Right, that makes
sense.
It's
kind of cool.
Well, last question I have for you. There's also a lot of talk here about Build America, Buy America. I'm curious, specifically for the cable industry, how is the cable industry uniting behind Build America, Buy America? What are you seeing there?
Well, over the years, there's been a lot of Made in America claims, assembled in America, made in America, American, materials, American labor, all that. Has been very proud. A lot of us companies in the U.S. that manufacture cable are very proud of that. So it's nice to see that now is formally recognized, because it's easy to say Made in America, but now we have a program or documentation we can point to. So now it tells us as manufacturers to be claiming Made in America, meeting BABA, Build America, Buy America Act. So really applaud that coming out. So now we have something we can point to. So whether it's at a federally funded opportunities or projects, or whether it's at an airport or the FAA or FCC, any type of these organizations in the government world, now they can point to that and say, this is a requirement, products got to meet this. And we're confident that in America, there's enough capacity or manufacturing to be able to get there, or sourcing of raw materials to make these products to get there. So really applaud that, and really supporting American jobs and American made. For us specifically in our Brownwood, Texas facility, $75 million investment there. Wow. That's expanding capacity and expanding manufacturing, but also expanding hundreds of jobs right locally. So we're supporting that. So this has allowed us to build up more jobs in America, making American products. So really applaud that and continue to support that going forward. And I think that's going to come outside into the public world too, into the privately funded opportunities, because now they can point to it and say, Made in America. Now I can point to this document and says this is what it is to be considered Made in America. They're really proud of that.
Right. No, that's awesome. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll be able to do this again sometime.
I appreciate it.
Great. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.